Okay, super. And it's not online. It's attached. Marcus, I got a part-time job making chess pieces. Right now, I'm working nights.
That's a good one. I did not see that coming.
Oh,
have to
God.
remember
We're
that
streaming.
one.
We're streaming. Well, we'll like and share that one. And let's see. We will also share this over to how about a group like the Broadcasting Club. Chris will be with us at the beginning of the show, and he may come back at the end of the show. But during the body of the show, he's got some stuff to do, and we're doing mostly videos. So I think we can handle it. Just me and Marcus.
1, 2, 1. There we go. Hello.
I hear
Hello.
Chris Tarr's dulcet tones.
Yes, thank you. Let me get in frame here. Oof, been busy.
Okay, so sharing. I remember this from last week because Facebook changed everything. Oh, good golly! How do I go do this? Remember now, sharing the show to Facebook was a pain.
Sharing is caring.
It is. And I care that now it's difficult to do. Why is this a pain? Okay, I'm acting as TWiRT. Why can't I share this to where I want to share it?
I'm going to write a strongly worded email to Mark Zuckerberg.
That should do it. All right, maybe it's there now. Let's go check and see. Yes. Yes, I know because Chris Tarr is drinking. That was my giveaway right there. Okay.
Iced coffee. Don't get any ideas.
Chris, yeah, do hang around as long as you can. A huge thunderstorm is just about to arrive upon me, and power may go out here.
Okay.
I went and battened down the hatches. I closed the umbrellas on the deck. So
what I'll do is I'll mute my mic and kind of turn away and do some work. So just don't cut to me there, Suncast, unless you need me.
All right, it is top of the hour. Suncast, are the turbines to speed? Ready to go? Batteries to power? I'm hearing feedback, but I guess that's probably from Suncast.
No, it's me. Hang on.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I forgot my earbuds.
If this video platform has echo cancellation, it doesn't do much.
Nah.
All right. Yeah, I'm still hearing myself. I don't know if you can cut that out more or not.
Let me see if I can switch over to my headset here.
Okay. Take your time.
Perhaps, if it will let me.
Hi, everybody on the network. Glad you're here. Very glad you're here. We got a fun show. I mean, we're gonna have fun and learn at the same time. Remember that from kindergarten? Except this is higher level learning. We're actually going to hear from the 2022 SBE Educator of the Year. So this is a big deal today. You need to pay attention, take notes, or just kick back with your favorite beverage and enjoy, or, hey, if you're working on some high voltage right now, do be careful. All right, no more feedback from Mr. Tarr, so I guess he's headphoned in. Are you ready to go, Chris Tarr? Oh, I got no audio now. No. Do. Checking 1, 2, 3. Checking 1, 2, 3. Do. Do I have audio from Chris? I'm not hearing any.
Oh.
There you go.
Can you hear me now? There we go.
I can hear you now.
Good deal.
Good golly, it's blustering out there. I got a regular storm going on here at the house. Okay, well, we're going to start the show anyway. And it's This Week in Radio Tech, episode 604. Our guest is Marcus O'Rourke. I'm Kirk Harnack. Chris Tarr's along, and we'll get the show started in 3, 2. Hey, welcome into This Week in Radio Tech, the show where we talk about everything from the microphone to the light bulb at the top of the tower and extracurricular activities. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Education, how to document that education, how to tell other people what you're doing. And I'm really excited for this show because, I never seem to have spare time. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, like most of us. But there are some videos out there that are worth watching, and we're going to force some of them upon you during the show today. So I'm Kirk Harnack. I'm here in the Telos Alliance studio in Nashville, Tennessee, which is another name for my beautiful, partly finished out basement here. It's actually a very nice room. I've got a window to the outside, even though this part of the basement is not underground. So I'm looking out at a big old severe thunderstorm right now. So let's hope that all the power stays on and things stay working. That's it for me. Chris Tarr, you got a thunderstorm there? Or is it nice weather there in Muckwanego?
It is beautiful out. You can see mine, same thing, finished basement. There's the window out to the side yard there. Fortunately, we've had great weather all week. I had to put on, I installed an antenna and got 2 translators on the air yesterday, day before, doing a C-band dish with the filters and everything. So I've been a busy guy, but the weather here has just been fantastic. So it was very conducive to getting some outdoor field work done, which certainly beats sitting in an office.
So, Chris, today we are sitting here on the show. We're about to introduce a nationwide award winner, and that means that his peers recognized him for some value, some award, and it actually won't be conferred to him until the SBE's big national meeting in Syracuse, New York. But let's bring in Marcus O'Rourke. Marcus, welcome to This Week in Radio Tech.
So does that mean it's not real until it's conferred?
I don't know. I guess it means you can't hang it on the wall or put it over the fireplace or on the coffee table until September, until you actually get
I
plaque.
I could draw you something on a piece of paper that you could stick on your wall.
Yeah, exactly. On a napkin,
temporary one. Yeah, there you go.
And we're not giving away a secret. This is news on the SBE website, and there's already been an article about it, hasn't there? Hasn't there been
Radio World did something, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good deal. Well, Marcus, hey, if you would tell us just for a minute about this award. What does this mean? What is it for?
So the Educator of the Year award is it recognizes someone who has basically been out in front, educating our peers, our other engineers, and educating those coming into the industry, and even those who are not in the industry, like maybe program directors, DJs, or even sometimes the public who are interested in radio, and kind of giving them that glimpse of what radio is about and teaching them something in the meantime. For me, it means I'm trying to be educational and entertaining, but
how do you think? Do you know anything about the process of how you were selected, voted upon, and awarded this honor?
I heard there was a nomination, and other than a phone call I got on Friday saying, "Hey, by the way," I don't know the process.
Who called you?
Megan from the SBE National Office.
Megan Clapp. Okay, awesome. Yep. Awesome. Wow. Chris, you ever got a phone call like that? Well, Mr. Tarr, you've been recognized by your peers.
Well, usually I've been recognized by the local police or something, but never peers, really. No, can't say that I have.
The local constabulary, yes. All right. Viewers and friends, we're going to, congratulations to Marcus O'Rourke for being awarded the SBE's Educator of the Year for 2022. And in this episode, you're going to see why he got nominated and voted upon positively for that. We have some of his work, some of Marcus's work coming up. It's beautiful, interesting, informative, entertaining, all that. It's all coming up. Hey, I want to tell you real quick about Nautel, the website nautel.com, and they don't have any Transmission Talk Tuesdays coming up in August. That's taking a little break, but they do have over 200 free technical tools to have in your toolbox. One of those things is Transmission Talk Tuesdays, taking a break, but there are 25 videos that answer your most common technical question about, for example, repairs of Nautel products. Oh, good, nice job there, Suncast, zooming up on that. Tips and tricks from security to critters, technical tips from award-winning educator Jeff Welton, plus over 30 comprehensive ebooks providing a wide range of radio broadcasting topics there. And over 40 in-depth webinars covering a wide range of topics that qualify for SBE recertification credits. There's also a bunch of white papers, in-depth tech papers from Nautel engineers that go really in-depth. And there's also a very popular thing, the radio coverage tool. If you have station coverage questions, you can create maps and look at different test scenarios. Worry-free from transmission from Nautel. So go to nautel.com. You'll find some of this under webinars. You'll find a lot of this under their resources tab. So just go to nautel.com and hit the resources button, and that'll get you to a lot of these tips and tricks, webinars. It's all there. Over 200 free technical tools for us in the industry. And it's all free from Nautel. A lot of very well-researched stuff, and all of it born out of experience. Thanks a lot to Nautel at nautel.com for providing all these services to the industry. All right, we need to jump right into this. Marcus, we've got our first video that we're going to look at. And okay, I feel a bit like we're cheating here. We're not creating a whole hour of content today on This Week in Radio Tech. Rather, we're going to be showing some of your content that you've produced, and that's a good thing to do.
Is this like those old school clip shows?
Yeah, exactly. Kind of set this up for us. We're going to be looking. I mean, I know these videos kind of set themselves up, but at least give us a little context for the generator replacement video. I love this video, and I haven't watched it all the way through, but kind of set this up for us. Generator replacement.
So that Saturday, right before NAB started. Okay, backing up a little bit more, we had a building generator here for backup power, and it was put in when the building was built in 1980 or something like that. Ran for many, many years, finally just gave up the ghost, and finally we were able to get a new one delivered, and the crane people and everything happened at once. So this is pulling the generator out, putting the new generator up on, and just kind of showing that more of the showy process of replacing a generator, because, I mean, how exciting is it to watch an electrician sit there and...
Well, we've got some awesome...
That's not that much fun, but...
Yeah, we've got some awesome shots here. This video is
fun.
5 minutes long. It's just under 5 minutes long. Suncast, let's roll it. Let's see this thing.
Today's the day. I know I've talked about this in the past, but today is the day. We've got a new generator. So the new generator is here. It's on the back of the truck for right now. The crane should be arriving shortly, and the old generator is being ready to be pulled out. So, I know I've talked about this in the past, the generator replacement. I'm sure I have. If not, well, guess what? We're getting a new generator on top of our building. That's why they have the hard hat. So we have a crane coming. Should be here very, very soon. So, let's go.
This generator was installed when the building was built back in 1980s-ish. So it served us for almost 40 years. I say almost because the last couple of years it hasn't been working. A little bit of planning before we start moving large and heavy items about, and then it's off to work getting the mounting points free. Once the generator is free, it's pulled out just a bit to allow the crane to hook up. Speaking of the crane, guess who just pulled in while this was happening? Work continued on the roof while the crane pulled in and got set up.
If you're ever in a situation like this, you need to find a good company that takes safety seriously. And most of them do. The crane guys do, and it made this whole event smooth and safe. As they prepared the crane, it was a good opportunity to grab a quick breakfast pastry and coffee. Then it was time to pull the exhaust piping off the roof and get ready for the generator itself to come down. Finally, after much hard work, the generator was hooked up and began to make its final journey off the roof. Once the old generator was on the ground, the new one was prepared to be hoisted. I got back up to the roof just in time to see the new generator arrive. Before it's put into place, the old mounts needed to be removed and the bolts taken out by the angle grinder. Then, slowly, the new generator was brought into the building. Our facilities manager from Aramark, John, was on hand to ensure the process went smoothly. John was the facilities manager for about 20 years before moving over to Aramark when they were contracted to handle maintenance on campus. Slowly, the generator was put on rollers and moved into place. After that, the crane was released and off they went on to another job.
Well, that's it. The crane's away and off. The new generator's up on the roof. The old generator's down on the ground, ready to go be scrapped. And that's it. Now for the electrical side of things, of getting everything hooked back up into the automatic transfer switch, and all that stuff will take place over the next week or so, and then we'll have a new emergency generator for the building. That's good, because that also feeds us for the radio station studios in case of a power outage. So, all right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of this channel. I appreciate it. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy. See you next time.
That is awesome. I got questions already. I got questions, Marcus.
Shoot.
So, fuel, was it hoisted with fuel, or did you have to bring fuel up later?
No. So we have, we brought fuel up later. We have a day tank that's up there and just feed fuel into that, which ends up being people carrying cans up the whole 6 flights of stairs.
And I asked the question, assuming it was diesel. So it's diesel, it's not
Yes.
natural gas piped in. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, it's our only diesel generator that we have. All of our other generators that we have are all propane.
How big a job was the electrical to do? Because I would imagine, all the stuff for the building is in place. Is it just adding some wires and hooking back in?
So I think I'm not totally involved with the electrical side of it. So I think there were some surprises that got them in regards to the transfer switch. So I think we were replacing the transfer switch and working it into the building's automation, and couple of other things. I really don't remember what it was, but something else was holding it up.
Well,
So
speaking
we
of
still have
transfer
a
switch,
temporary one.
I've got a question. If you don't know the answer, that's fine. We'll sometimes we'll have a generator expert on, but a transfer switch and the generator, they tend to come together, or at least they tend to get bought together. Does that imply that transfer switches really ought to be used with the same brand, same era of generator that the generator is, or is mix and match even from different companies not too big a deal?
Probably a good question for a generator person.
Yeah,
But
okay, because I don't know.
I know at one of our sites we don't have a generator, but we have a hookup for a generator,
Yeah.
and it's, I don't know, Acme brand transfer switch. I don't know. I don't remember what it is, but I know it's different than what our towable generator is. So
Yeah, yeah, and there's sensors in the transfer switch well, I mean, they got to work together, and because I've always seen them as being same brand installed at the same time, and of course, your transfer switch was probably as old as the generator, right? That'd be 40 plus years
yeah,
old.
yeah, 40 years
something
old.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, good. The other question, music. Man,
Yes.
I mean, this is a beautiful cinematic production you've got here, and I loved the music. I felt like I was watching, some Disney movie with somebody flying through the sky when that generator was coming down. How do you pick your music?
So I use a service called Epidemic Sound, and I pay a subscription fee, and that lets me use anything of their catalog on YouTube without getting copyright hits or basically taking away the monetization side of things.
Gotcha.
So,
Wow. Is anything else you want to say about this video or its production before we move on?
so that was the day we left for NAB. I was up
Ah.
at 6 in the morning, and we weren't supposed to leave until late afternoon. So that was a really long day. So at the end, you can see me just kind of thinking, I need to go home and sleep for a few hours.
Wow.
But yeah.
Now we're going to take a break, but after the break, we've got the most popular video you've ever produced. You want to give us a little foreshadowing?
The dangers of transmitter sites. Lots of
Now,
dangers.
Is this the dangers of, or is this dangerous transmitter sites? Could be either.
Yes, it could be either way. Yeah. There
Is
are
it just
dangers
one?
and there are dangers.
Yeah. I've been to transmitter sites with snakes and other critters, bad looking spiders, people in
Coyotes.
cars that were not supposed to
Oh.
be there and not fully clothed. So there's dangers.
We had one site where we had drug deals going on all day long right in front of it.
Oh, so
was
could you
fun.
get a discount yourself?
They weren't in for discounts, but
I've been working under a transmitter and heard somebody. I left the front door open, airflow or something, and I heard somebody walk in, and I looked under the rack. There was some rack spaces, rack panels missing. Looked on the rack. There were some very shiny, patent leather, shiny black shoes, and a very cuffed and creased pair of pants on this gentleman. And I realized this was a police officer. And I want to let him know I'm back here. Everything's okay. It's not a problem. But he hadn't seen the
working.
door left open. Yeah. I'm back here. I'm back here working. It's okay. I don't think he had his sidearm drawn, but you never know.
That's
All right.
good.
The dangers of transmitter sites is coming up. Our show is brought to you in part by our terrific friends at Broadcast Bionics in England, but their products are all over the world. Lots here in the USA. And all over the world. Let's hear from Broadcast Bionics. We'll be right back with Marcus O'Rourke.
Welcome to the Bionic Studio. The Bionic Studio brings all audience interaction to the fingertips of a production team in radio, TV, and podcast. Our workflow-led system is working 24/7 around the world for small broadcasters and national and international networks. Our telephony module, Bionic Talk Show, allows cost-effective centralization, remote operation, scalability, and resilience across an entire network of stations, but at the same time is used in single-studio self-op environments. Social media curation and activity is now considered a broadcast critical part of programming. Bionic Social means the studio isn't overwhelmed with a wall of interaction from an ever-growing number of social platforms. We combine SMS, MMS and email together with a speech-to-text service for listeners using smart speakers. We enable studio teams to curate, filter and display all platforms in one place and post text, images and video content to multiple platforms in one operation. Effortless collection of video content with Bionic Director has helped position some of the world's most successful stations as leaders in viral content, generating appointments to listen and free marketing via retweets and shares. Bionic Contest enables end-to-end tracking of on-air competitions, live reads and prizes. These can be on-air contests, automated SMS entry or online. Anywhere, and Skype TX for Radio brings high-quality audio and video contribution into the studio with ease. No need for dedicated PCs to run different applications. Everything is controlled within the Bionic Studio UI, and incoming connections are visible to users along with all other platforms. Our codec integration enables connection, algorithm configuration and directory to a wide range of IP and ISDN codecs. The Bionic Studio, a unique suite of products designed to enable your talent to work smarter.
Oh man, viral content leaders. The viral is usually a bad word, but it can be a good thing too in our interesting world of words. Thanks a lot, Broadcast Bionics, for sponsoring This Week in Radio Tech. And please, you engineer, you can be the leader around your place by checking out Broadcast Bionics and their incredible range of software to help you make much better radio, whether it's talk shows or just surfacing information and content about a particular artist or some famous person, some celebrity, whatever you need to do, they got it there. They got good stuff at Broadcast Bionics. All right. It is time to continue. Our guest is Marcus O'Rourke. Marcus, glad that you could take some time to be here. By the way, if you hadn't heard, if you're tuning in late, Marcus is the winner, the honoree. He's won the SBE's Educator of the Year award for 2022. And he'll be receiving that award in a ceremony in Syracuse, New York, as the SBE has their national meeting there. So, Marcus, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You'll be doing a victory lap, I'm sure, for us. Maybe we can get some video of that. get the drone to shoot the victory. I don't know do you run around a tower? I don't know. What do you do?
I could.
All right.
Now you've got me
what we're
thinking.
doing on what we're doing on this show, because I wanted to do this anyway, and hey, Marcos getting the Educator of the Year award from SBE was really icing on the cake and made me think, wow, how serendipitous that that I was thinking of having Marcos on the show, and then he won that award. So I gotta call him. So I started texting him, and he said, yeah, I can get that on my calendar. Sure, I'll join you. So we're watching some videos. Marcos produces really beautiful and yet educational videos about the things that he does at transmitter sites. And he tells a story with each one. So they are entertaining and worthwhile and fun to watch. The next video is called The Dangers of Transmitter Sites. This is the longest video that we're going to watch today, and it's about 12 minutes long, but it is captivating, and it has Marcus's brand of humor sprinkled through it as well. Marcus, set this video up for us, if you don't mind.
So I was thinking, I see a lot of people, because part of the people who watch my channel are people who go off-roading to all these different mountaintop sites. And I'm thinking, a lot of people who go up to these different sites, for example, Santiago Peak, which is where our main station is, they have no idea some of the dangers that they could be facing up there. For example, like falling ice during the wintertime. It's beautiful. It's neat to go play in the snow, but if you aren't really thinking about, that tower that's got 6 inches of ice, falling off and hitting you.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. So that was my intent, was to kind of put something together and go, don't forget about these things if you're going to be around a broadcast station. I guess it also applies to any tower up there.
You have a good intro in this video too. So Suncast, let's roll it and see the dangers of transmitter sites.
Today we're talking about the dangers of a transmitter site. There are many, many dangers at these mountaintop sites, especially during the winter, and we are going to cover those here right now. Hello, thanks for joining me today. My name is Marcos O'Rourke. I'm a broadcast engineer in the Southern California area, and I work for a group that has several different stations spread out across all the way from the border to Mexico, through Los Angeles, all the way into Las Vegas. So we have a lot of different mountaintop sites, and today I kind of wanted to go through with you and talk about some of the dangers that are at sites. It's not necessarily something you typically think about, but there are dangers all over a site, especially sites that are not visited as frequently. But even sites that have constant visitors. The site at Santiago Peak, that site has dangers that most people don't understand. They drive up there all the time, they hike up there all the time, and they don't realize what harm they're putting themselves into. So, I'm not here to scare you away from mountaintop sites. That is not the point of this video, but it's an education. It's an opportunity for you to learn some of the more riskier aspects of the job. You've probably seen some of the videos where we're wearing these hard hats, and it's not necessarily in case we bump our heads. Especially in the wintertime, the towers will start gathering ice, collecting ice. And what'll happen is this ice will build up off to the side of the tower, of the antennas, of the structure itself, and become heavy. I've got a piece right here. You can kind of see it. This came off of one of the guy wires. And it's about a couple pounds maybe. But imagine 6 inches of ice, a block like this, hanging off of a tower. That could be a lot more weight. And then imagine that falling from a height of like 100 feet. So you have that danger, and that does all sorts of damage to the site as well. So there's that danger. I'm going to change my hat back because my hat's more comfortable than this. And my voice echoes weird in there too. It's something you should be very concerned about and in consideration if you are at mountaintop sites in the wintertime. Now, right now, it is January, beginning of January, and I mean, there's a little bit of snow on the ground. We had about 4 to 6 inches at this site. This is the undisclosed site. And because of that, we had a lot of ice build up on the tower. But right now, I'm looking up at the tower, and there's no ice up there. So all the ice had melted, had fallen off the tower, and that's when it gets dangerous. Not when it's building up, but when it starts getting a little bit warmer. And that tower structure starts warming up, boop, that big chunk of ice falls, and sometimes gets terminal velocity and makes a very large crater, or damage, or destroying my fence, or ice bridges. There is damage here that I am surprised by. So, falling ice, that is one danger that you may not realize is at a transmitter site.
So one of the more obvious dangers at a transmitter site is RF. Now, RF is dangerous because you can't see it, and it will do things to you that you don't realize until later. It's not going to cause cancer. Let's just get that out of the way. This is not going to cause cancer. But RF is going to heat your body. There are different parts of your body that are resonant at certain frequencies. Some of those are the FM band frequencies, some of those are higher frequencies, and so you want to protect yourself and not have those heating things, because if things inside you heat up, you're probably not going to feel it. You're going to start feeling, oh man, I just don't feel good, and it could get worse. Worst case, you can
I don't want to get too gross, but there are stories of microwave workers who were exposed right in the face, and it basically gave them glaucoma. Not good stuff. So RF, if you give it distance, is fine. Don't stand next to microwave dishes, antennas. If you look up at a tower, and you'll see all these different things hanging off of it. You'll see like whip antennas. You'll see these weird FM antennas that look like weird shapes. Stay away from those. Big drums, stay away from those. Especially stay away from the front of those. Like whip antennas and things like that. They're sending out RF in pretty much every direction. But a microwave dish, that's going to be sending it down a beam. And so all of that RF is going to get focused down this one path. So you kind of want to stay out of that. But if you stay away from RF and being on the ground generally, you're fine. There are signs at transmitter sites. There's yellow signs which will say warning or caution. Don't go past them because generally past that, it's not safe for the general public. There's different levels. There's public exposure, there's occupational exposure. So people who work with RF, people who are engineers, tower climbers, people like that, know how to work with RF, know how to protect themselves. So that's why there's an occupational limit that's higher than a public limit. So going past those signs, probably not a good idea for you. For AM stations, the tower itself is the antenna. So you definitely don't want to be next to that. Go back and watch, I'm gonna link it right up here or here. Well, one of these two spots. The video that we did, the tour of Knx 1070 in Los Angeles. There is a point where we're really close to the base of the tower, and we're behind a fence, a gate, and you'll see as I bring the camera in, there's a weird little pattern that shows up on the screen. That's RF. That is a high RF field, and it obviously did things to the recording on the camera and the sensor. So you don't want to be too close to an AM tower. You definitely don't want to touch an AM tower. If you touch an AM tower, you become part of the electrical circuit, and there is a lot of electricity that runs into an AM station. You definitely don't want to grab that tower and be standing on the ground, because now you become that path to ground for the electricity, and it won't end very well for you. Let's just put it that way. So generally there are fences for security, of course, but there are fences for safety, and those fences are there for a reason. So please don't go past the fences unless you work there or you have business past that fence. That's all. That's my public service announcement for that. Something else to keep in mind is if you visit a transmitter site during the summer or winter, or I guess anytime it's warm, you kind of want to be aware of critters, snakes, cats, coyotes, spiders, all those different things. And that's just a general be aware of your environment out in the wilderness message. Because, you know, you're out in the wilderness and you never know. Part of the reasons why we have fencing up at this site here at our undisclosed location is we wanted to keep people out, obviously. But the other one is we wanted to keep wildlife out. Wildlife will tend to burrow into places where we don't want them to. They will tend to rub up against things that may cause fatigue. So we're trying to keep them out of the little compound here with varying degrees of success because, well, as you saw, our fence is down, and I have seen some buried up scat here. So guess that didn't work out right. Not buried up, scat with berries in it. There we go. You guys have seen what's behind here, right? Our generators. Here at this site, we have a couple of propane generators, and these propane generators start automatically. So another danger at a transmitter site is automatically starting equipment. You kind of want to stay away from equipment that may start automatically. like air conditioning units, fans, like ventilation fans, generators, things like that. You kind of want to stay away from those things that are automatically starting. One other thing that you kind of want to watch out for is people at transmitter sites. Those can be dangerous as well. You have people who are there who are wanting to steal copper, break into equipment buildings to steal equipment, all these different things. So especially late nights, weekends, times when people would not, when the bad actors, if you will, aren't expecting people to be there, you have to watch out for those as well. I have come across that a few times. So. Thanks for watching today. Kind of an odd video talking about the dangers of a transmitter site. But if you ever do go up to a mountaintop site, kind of want to know what's going on, right? You don't want to be unprepared. So anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming along with me here to the undisclosed location. Hey, we still have snow. I can't believe it. I mean, look. Look, I still have snow up here. What? Crazy. Anyways, thanks for watching. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. Crazy times we're going through. And I'll see you next time.
Wow. That was a lot of fun. And I found out some things. I have a question. The propane generator, why do you have green cover panels making it less visible, I guess, to the public?
It's not necessarily less visible. It's to kind of protect it from blowing snow. So that site is kind of like on this perfect ridge. So really quickly, the weather patterns here, the weather kind of goes around Orange County, goes through LA, and right over that site there at Palomar, which is no longer undisclosed, but right over that site there at Palomar, and it can get crazy wind, ice, snow. I mean, so we put those covers up just to kind of keep it from building up on the air intakes of the generators.
After your truck drove away, what was did I see a big old tire there on the ground?
So the landowners, we rent, lease.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow there's a relationship there. The site from a tribe, so they maintain that road. I mean, it is very, very well maintained. I mean, they're constantly working on it. So they have that old tire there that they'll just drag up and try to keep the road smooth.
Oh, so it's used as a smoothing device.
Yeah.
Dragging the tire out. That's a good idea. Wow. Oh my goodness. Well, that have you? When did you shoot that video?
That would have been January of 21, maybe.
21.
I think it
So
was,
okay.
yeah.
Year and a half ago. Have you? Is there? If you were to redo it today, is there anything that you would add to it that wasn't in there, or anything that's? Oh my gosh! You know, here's a new peril.
Off the top of my head, no.
Yeah.
But I know
Okay.
I saw that when you were asking me for the videos, and I saw it, and I was thinking, oh, I should have mentioned, and I should have wrote it down, and I didn't.
But it's so that video. I mean, sure, that video is good for engineers, but you didn't show much, inside the. It was really it was for for the grounds, for the area, for people who may happen along. We hope people watch it who may be hikers or four wheelers or whatever.
Right.
Let me ask you a
And
question.
that's kind of.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, and that's kind of where I'm aiming towards my videos. Is it's not necessarily something for the the grizzled engineer who has been there for 50 years. No, you know way more than I will ever know. This is for people who are going, what does a broadcast engineer do? What the DJ going, what do you do? So, or people in the public, just to kind of bring some awareness to it and maybe bring in some more engineers in some fashion.
All right, my last question before our next break is I think your choice of answers are probably going to be yes, no, or I'd really prefer not to say. That's none of your business. And my question
Okay.
is, for a site like that, do you carry a firearm?
Um, I have,
Hmm.
but in the so many years that we've been going up there,
Hmm.
um, it really would be for animals because
Yeah.
we're so far away from public access at that site specifically
Oh, okay.
that,
Okay.
you know, it would be, there would be nobody up there. But as far as animals, I think our biggest threat would be bobcats and mountain lions
Yeah.
and rattlesnakes, but I'm not that good of a shot.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, okay. Well, thanks for that. Thanks for that answer. Marcus O'Rourke is our guest today. Marcus was just awarded from the Society of Broadcast Engineers the SB Educator of the Year. I think you're starting to see why. We've got a couple more videos from Marcus. I hope we can squeeze them both in, and we can if we hurry right up here. Hey, let me tell you about somebody else that ought to get an award, and that is Mike Dosh at Angry Audio. Angry Audio, that they make a whole line of products themselves, things like the headphone gizmo. This is the headphone amplifier that is just terrific. So well designed, sounds great. It can easily be wired daisy chain style with power getting inserted on one of them and then that power continuing from one to the next using the Studio Hub standard. And it's got both sizes of connectors there, 1/4 inch and 3.5 millimeter. It's got little rubber feet here, so you could lay it this way on the countertop. You can screw it to the countertop. You can mount it to the side, but it's really meant to be mounted up underneath the countertop. And it's got this nice curvy design, so you won't snag your leg, your pants, or your pantyhose on this guy. Now, the other thing I want to tell you about is the headphone disconnector, because everybody needs these. My goodness, there's the head. There we are, plugged in to the headphone amplifier, and your talent gets up and walks away, and instead of breaking off the 1/4 inch connector or the 3.5 millimeter connector, instead of breaking that off inside here like somebody did at one of my stations, they walk away and the headphone connector just disconnects just like that. I know I made it a little bit hard to do there, and it connects right back up because it's magnetic. It's kind of like that MagSafe style connector from Apple. But your talent still wearing headphones, they get up, they walk away, and bam, it just comes right apart and saves everything else. Even where the cable goes into the headphones, so it won't tear that up because you've got this headphone disconnector. Isn't that interesting that we have products that we buy now in broadcasting called a disconnector? I guess we do in electrical service too, but there you go. Check it out from Angry Audio. The website is angryaudio.com. They got all kinds of great products there. I'm telling you soon, Chris Tarr is going to be the spokesperson for Angry Audio. He uses a bunch of their stuff. And also it's where you can get Studio Hub products. You want to wire your studio with Studio Hub? Check it out from Angry Audio. Hey, This Week in Radio Tech is also brought to you by my favorite 4G modem, the Max Connect Wireless Prioritized Data Modem. Here's John Takak to tell you why they use it.
With all of the recent cybersecurity attacks against large corporations, we were looking for a product that would give us the ultimate security at our transmitter sites and as well as with our broadcast equipment. Max Connect fits the bill very well. Its greatest security feature is the fact that it gives you a single static IP address. Using this single static IP address allows us to close hundreds of open ports on our firewalls across the company and restrict access to only the Max Connect IPs. This has greatly reduced our exposure to the World Wide Web and made us much more secure moving forward. It has also given us the ability to expand as needed in a secure fashion.
You know what these things are built for?
Welcome.
What these things are built for? They're built to give you data where sometimes it's not available. Like if you're at a crowded location, a stadium, a parade, maybe a car dealership where your advertising really worked and everybody showed up. This will give you prioritized data, prioritized over everybody else except first responders, and you will get to get real data through. And you get a fixed IP address, which is really helpful and really important. So check that out. Max Connect Wireless. Check out the website, maxconnect.com. I know it's spelled funny. You can look at it there, or you can click the link in our show notes and get to it that way. Josh Bone, what a great engineer. He's put together this amazing service Max Connect Wireless. All right, we are back with Marcus O'Rourke on this episode, number 604 of This Week in Radio Tech. Marcus, our next video here has to do with one of the oldest stations on the West Coast. This is KNX. We're going to take a tour, and this is a place where even broadcast engineers would typically not get to go unless you had some business there or knew somebody there. And there's a lot we can learn from touring other facilities that may be like, oh, that's a good way to do that, or, oh, I'm glad I never did that. Set this up for us, this KNX tour.
So it was in conjunction with our SBE chapter in LA's. Every once in a while we'll do facility tours. And so we did a tour of KNX and brought the camera along. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was really interesting to see the station, and kind of grew up listening to it all the way from San Diego. And yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and roll. Let's see this KNX tour.
Today we are going to KNX 1070 here in Los Angeles. So we'll be getting a tour from the gentleman at Entercom who owns KNX these days. And yeah, I'm excited about this tour.
Got a great turnout, so thanks for coming out on a Saturday.
The documentation looks as if this building we're standing in was built in 1960 when this new tower went in place. This tower is approximately 5/8, just short of. Longer than a half, but less than 5/8. And this building was built to accommodate it. All the transmitters were in here.
It was because I was in high school. That was the original tower, and they literally built the building around the original tower.
Do you own the land?
No, well, I think at this point, CBS used to own this entire park.
They do.
That's why it's Columbia Park. But in around, I'll have to go look. I think I could locate a hat in here that's got the date on it when they had the transition of turning the park over to the city of Torrance. And the fenced-in areas for the transmitter and the towers and all that, that still belongs to what was CBS now entered. But we do not own the property, but we do maintain the ground system. And we have very strong easements whenever any party wants to build surrounding property, like this housing project back here. That went in 1992, maybe. It was my job to supervise the ground system that was installed, so each house had a Faraday cage.
So we've actually made some good progress out here in terms of beefing this up to be the news station it should be for Los Angeles. There will be some argument, but basically KNX is the 24-hour, English language news station for LA. And so we take that responsibility very seriously.
The tower went down in 1965 overnight. It was attributed to vandalism. They came out and sawed through the guy wire anchor, probably with a hacksaw, and the tower collapsed overnight. There was a sudden rush to get another tower, and the only tower that was available instantly, if I recall correctly, it was the KFAC tower that was laying on the ground at their transmitter site. They weren't going to install it for a while, and so CBS made a deal to buy it from them, and everybody agreed, and they got it out here and had the tower crew come up and put up what's now the Ox Tower as the temporary replacement to get it back on the air. That tower, of course, is much shorter than it needs to be for a 1070. What's KFAC? 1330. Right. So it's probably a quarter wave on 1330.
Halfway. This one's 500.
Yeah. So 200 feet difference. There's not much more to say about that other than the fact that they did get it on the air very promptly. It only was off for a couple of days, 3 days, something like that.
23 hours.
23 hours.
We put up 2 telephone poles and a flat top antenna.
Well, I was in 10th grade when that happened, so I can't speak from first-hand experience.
And it's Columbia Park, with Columbia being the C and CBS. They gave it to the city basically. Some money had to transfer to make it a legal sale. But the important thing for us was the easements for the guy wire anchors, for the CCNRs to include the ground system, and then this piece of property that we own outright.
This is a memento from February 25th, 1984, to commemorate the park when it transferred.
Is this the only station on this particular frequency in the country, or just in the West Coast, or how?
Just the West Coast.
I see.
I believe there are two others on the other side.
Third channel doesn't necessarily mean third across the country.
Not always. Not always. 150 miles. On the other hand, it does really well in parts of 5 states at night. And so, we joke around, you can't hide from it.
I'd like to add to that. I was on vacation last year in Oregon visiting a ham radio friend up in Portland. And I was driving home early in the morning, around 5-ish in the morning, down I-5. I was in Salem. And one of our operators had occasion to call me for a question. So I took the call, turned on my car radio, and 1070 was sounding almost local. It was so strong. About 5 o'clock in the morning.
I see, it's right there.
Our primary STL is microwave. Not a lot of room in there, so I'll let you guys just go ahead and...
Thanks for watching today. This has been a really exciting tour of a very historical station. KNX has been around for a very long time. It's one of the older stations in the country, and it's one of the older stations on the West Coast. So yeah, it was really cool to see the inside of it. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. While you're here, check out some of the other videos that I've got, and see some of the other tours that we did. We did one with at another station, and I explain about RF safety signs. So yeah, so check out some of the other videos, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2022 SBE Educator of the Year, Marcus O'Rourke.
Thank you. You know, I'm listening to the end of it, and we're talking about RF safety signs. I'm going, well, didn't that just change? Like some of the regulations around RF safety signs just changed. So it's like, well, I guess I have to redo that one now.
Oh, I don't know. We need to find out about that. Yeah, I didn't know.
Think so. Anyways, yeah, technology, you know.
We put signs up that say not, you know, danger of electrocution. Not only will this kill you, it will hurt the whole time you are dying. It seems to. I got a transmitter. I got a transmitter site in Samoan that says basically danger, high voltage, don't touch anything back here. It says it in English and it says it in Samoan. So you don't get that translation very often. And I can't.
Very unique location.
Pronounce it. That's right. Hey, so we got one more video to see, and let's use that as our tip of the week, unless you have an extra one after that. But tell you what, let's go ahead and take our last break to hear from a sponsor right now. Marcus, you know, whenever somebody does something well, does it great, is recognized for it, you inspire other people. And so I'm thinking that when people know about you, and know about the videos you produce, whether they are broadcast engineers or maybe they want to produce videos or explainers, explaining type videos or travel logs or whatever. Maybe they want to produce, do videos, publish videos, shoot, edit, you know, push them out there in whatever topic that they're interested in. You doing broadcast engineering, but to see somebody else produce that and to understand their process. That's what's coming up after the break. You want to give us just a little tease about the video we're going to see after the break?
You're going to see me with a full beard. So yeah, there's the tease. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
The process of what goes through my mind of doing a video, what equipment I use, and yeah.
Your videos, you know, I produce videos too, and we definitely produce different styles. I love your style, and I feel like yours is a very cinematic style. It's very watchable. And mine are informative, but they're not as watchable as you. I just enjoy watching yours. So that's coming up in just a minute. We're going to hear Marcus's thoughts and see some techniques about how he produces his videos. This Week in Radio Tech is brought to you in part by Broadcasters General Store. BGS.cc is the website. And one of the things that BGS carries that you can get from BGS is a Vox Pro unit. And you know, a lot of radio talent says, I got to have a Vox Pro. I got to record my callers, record my bits. You can use Vox Pro for all kinds of stuff. We're going to hear from St. John. We're going to hear from him and be right back. Hang on.
Hey, what's happening? St. John here, coming to you from Command Central, and wanted to tell you about the absolute best partner you can have in radio. I'm talking about, boom, Wheatstone's Vox Pro. Lots of different audio software out there. Why Vox Pro? It's the only software designed to do what we needed to do, which is record, edit, playback in real time. When I say lightning fast, I'm going to show you how fast you can edit stuff up in Vox Pro right now. So literally 3 clicks on the controller, mark left, mark right, everything that gets marked, you hit delete, it goes away. It's literally that fast. So we're going to take this part right here. Boom. From caller 9 to him saying, I'm ready.
5, ready for that secret sound.
Boom. All of that stuff, hit delete, it goes away. Here's your edit.
You are tackling secret sound caller 9. I'm ready, St. John.
So one of the best features of version 7, this is awesome. It's effects macros, and you can literally put a chain of effects together so that instead of having to normalize a phone bit and then use noise reduction on it and EQ it and all that, you can literally build a chain. One button, this one's called call right here. I just click that. All of those processes happen instantaneously. Final thing that I love about Vox Pro, and there's so much more to get into, but one of my favorite things, you can load it on a laptop. I've literally done my show from a hotel room in Armenia to the conference room at, this was fun, jury duty. Great thing, no one could tell the difference. Vox Pro makes it totally easy. Telling you, if you're looking for the best on-air partner, call my friends at Wheatstone, ask them about Vox Pro, and you will be glad you did.
You need to call Broadcasters General Store at 352-622-7700. That's 352-622-7700. The number's right there on the website. BGS.cc is their web location. And I love the folks at BGS. They're all good folks. Been to dinner with these people and I've done business with them literally for years, probably, since the at least the early 90s. Yeah, they've been around a while. Sharp pencils, good prices, and they can tell you usually exactly when something's going to arrive. They have a lot of choices to help you out. Do you need it immediately? Can you wait a little bit? Do you need something else that's available more quickly? Broadcasters General Store in Ocala, Florida. But it doesn't matter where they are because they'll get you what you want. All right. It's This Week in Radio Tech with Marcus O'Rourke. He is here with us. I don't know if Chris Tars is handy here. Maybe we can get an indication from I don't see him on the double box or no triple box. Maybe he's not. Marcus, okay. So we've teased I guess this is going to be a 6-minute tip of the week about how you produce these. I think the video sets itself up, but just give us a tiny little intro here.
Well, I just went out to the park the other day and went, this is what I do, this is what I use, and yeah.
So you shot this, yesterday, day before?
I think this was like Monday, I think.
Oh, Monday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All righty.
It was hot.
All right, Suncast, let's crank up the film projector and roll it.
Some of you asked what my process is with recording and filming and all that fun stuff. So let's go through it real quick. And now there's a lawnmower behind me. Okay, I'll talk real quick like this. And as soon as the lawnmower stops, the airplane's gonna fly over. Okay, so I'm filming on a Canon R5C. That's what I have right here. Started off on my iPhone with some Moment lenses, and then I was on a Canon M50 because I like the optics a little bit better. And then I moved to a Canon R, EOS R, and now the R5C gives me 4K, 8K if I really wanted it, but I don't do 8K, but 4K. Has some great tools for making sure I have good exposure, waveform, vector scope, all that fun stuff. And also does stills, so it lets me have a hybrid camera. So there's the camera. I'm using a Rode Video NTG as my microphone. That's on camera. And then I also have the Rode Wireless Go. And I have it kind of with the split. So I do left channel is the shotgun mic, right channel is the lapel mic. And usually I'll have it hidden inside my shirt with some, can't remember what it's called, undercover or whatever it is. Sticks to the shirt so you don't really see it, so it looks a little bit neater. For my drone shots, some of those drone shots that I have a DJI Mini 2, and that thing's a lot of fun. It's a blast to fly, and so I'll fly that around. It takes a lot of practice to get the shot that you want, and just to be spatially aware, what your limits are, what its limits are, and so but some amazing photos and video that I've gotten from that. Then I also have some cameras, some GoPro cameras, a GoPro Hero 7 Black and the GoPro Hero 5 Session, which is the little square one, which they didn't use very often, or they didn't have for very long. Lighting is important. I have a bunch of reflectors. I have some relatively cheap lights that I got off of Amazon that help me control the light, because that's all that video is just moving pictures, and lighting is key. So when I go into the process, before I get to that day, I think about what it is I want to shoot, what it is that I'm going to be doing, what my tasks are, and how I'm going to set up those shots, from my open and intro hook to my little travel montage, if I have one, to what the tasks are, the major tasks are for that day, and how I will set up my camera, my lights, and my shot, and how I want it to look. Not always 100% effective or executing the vision that I have, but I get close. Again, I still have a lot to learn about it. So I go through that, I think about it, I shoot it. Usually it makes the task go a little bit longer than it normally would if you're not doing that. And then what? And then I'll take my footage, unload it onto my MacBook Pro M1 chip. I'll also copy it to an external hard drive for safety, and then I will edit on Premiere Pro. I like the Adobe suite. I have really gotten used to it. It's Premiere Pro, After Effects, and the audio one, and Adobe Audition. So those three together are my video editing side, and I'll take all my footage, look at it, and then construct a story, because that's really what I'm trying to do, is tell a story about what it is that I'm doing. So, construct the story, put that together, edit it, find some good music. I use a service called Epidemic Sound, as well as a service called Audio, AUDIIO, and because both of those are licensed, I can use them on YouTube without getting copyright strikes or getting monetization claims. So I'm able to make a couple of dollars to help try to pay for some of this equipment. Then so I will edit everything together, try to create the story arc, and then I'll do color correction. This is what it looks like when I shoot it. It is very flat, it is very gray, low contrast, but it allows me to have more control over my highlights and over my shadows. I will put a transform LUT on there, a color space transform, and then I will put in some corrections and then a final look LUT on top of that to give it the coloring that I want it to. Then I will export. Usually that takes anywhere from 5 minutes to 2 hours, depending on how complex the video is, how much effects I have, what other layers that I have, sound effects. And then from that point, I will upload it to YouTube at least a day before I release it, to allow YouTube to do its not cross-contamination, where it encodes it for different formats, different bit rates. And then by the time it's ready to go for release, I have a 4K version, a 1080 version, all that YouTube automatically creates. Creating a thumbnail that's visually interesting, tells a bit of the story, but kind of grabs your attention. I write a title, which is not clickbait, but is kind of clickbait-y, something that looks interesting. If there's a description that I need to put in there, put in the description, tags, location sometimes, my monetization options, and then the end screen where it has the suggested videos. And then I set a schedule, okay, release at this date at this time. and then away it goes. And then when it releases, I just interact with comments after that and start planning for the next video. It's a lot. It's a big process, and I'm still learning on how to do it and how to try to make it efficient and yet still tell a good story that's educational and entertaining, and yeah, that's my process.
Excellent. I appreciate you sharing all that. Hey, okay, I've got a couple technical questions. The undercovers, explain what that is again. I didn't quite understand that.
So I have them right here.
Oh, you do?
So
okay.
Basically, they are little. There's two parts. So you get the lapel mic. So this mic here actually has a spot you can plug a lapel in, and it becomes like a belt pack.
Oh.
Then you peel them off. They're a little sticky. And then you put the little lapel mic on it, and then you put the little fuzzy cover over the sticky, and then stick it to the inside of the shirt. So it hides it, but it keeps it there. And yeah, they're like $10 from Amazon or something like that.
Okay. The other question, and I've done a light color grading on my own drone videos, but I've never used a LUT or a lookup table. Now I have shot in that what's that compressed grayscale that where the
so it all
looks flat.
Logs.
Log
Okay,
profile. Shoot it. A log profile. Is D-log the same thing? Because like DJI has D-log.
Yeah, DJI has D-log, Canon has C-log, Sony has S-log, blah, blah, blah. They each have their own version.
And the video looks kind of terrible when it comes out like this. It's very low contrast, but you haven't blown any whites out, and nothing is typically too dark. Everything's it's almost like compression, right? And then tell me how a LUT works and why you use more than one LUT. But obviously your results are great. You have great looking color and tones and flesh tones, everything else on your videos.
So there's two LUTs. There's the technical LUT, which basically takes that log footage and then expands it to what's called Rec 709, which is basically like what you see on TV, on videos, what YouTube uses. And then from there I adjust, make sure my highlights are bright, make sure my shadows are dark, make sure that I'm not overexposed or underexposed, do all that big tweaking, and then I'll use a creative LUT to just put a little bit of pop to it. So you noticed like in that part of the video, my face got a little bit more redder, my shirt got bluer, the greens got a little bit greener, and it's more than just saturation, it's pulling out specific colors, or it's more creative aspect of the look of the video.
The technical LUT kind of interests me. I guess the lookup table says, okay, we know what the camera was, we know its characteristics. If this pixel is this color, it really should be this color and this brightness and this everything else. So it's a pixel by pixel lookup table. Is that what it is?
Basically, yeah. It goes, okay, your shadows need to go. Your shadows are going to be compressed in the log, and it kind of expands them out. So that way it looks black, like the blacks look black. But if you wanted to raise them up, you could still see more detail in the shadows. So if I were to shoot into a rack, for example, and the rack is dark, I could raise those shadows up and see more detail in there rather than shooting at a standard profile, which, sorry, all that data is lost. There's not much you can do.
Yeah. So if you're shooting with any kind of camera and you get something that's what they say blown out, it's way too white, you've lost any detail there. You can't get that back, right?
Right.
And same thing if it's too dark.
Shadows. Yep.
Yeah. If it's too dark, you cannot pull details out of data that's not there. But if you squeeze it all, now that assumes that the sensor got it to some degree. Does log recording affect the sensor or affect the recording medium, which would be
it's how it records it. So you could also record in some of the more expensive cameras. in what's called raw, and it basically takes the sensor saw
Sure.
this value. That's what I'm writing to the file.
Gotcha.
And
Yep.
it makes for
Yeah,
a
I've seen that.
huge file, but
Yeah.
it's
Wow.
it's pixel for pixel. But
Marcus, we are completely out of time, and I want to thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a blast. It's been fun. Thank you for joining us and sharing this knowledge, and congratulations on being awarded the SB Educator of the Year. We'll keep reminding
thanks
you
for
of
having
that.
me on. Yeah, thank you.
By the way, a little show note for everyone. Next week, our show is going to be on Wednesday at the usual time. I think I've got that right, Suncast. It'll be at the usual time. I'm going to be live at the Texas Association of Broadcasters, and we'll have some guests. I don't know who's going to be yet, but we're going to be live from Austin, Texas next week, not on Thursday, but on Wednesday. We'll be doing This Week in Radio Tech on Wednesday, and we'll play it back on Thursday at the usual time if we possibly can. If the show is finished and produced by then, we'll play it back. Then we have some other shows coming up that are going to be fun. The following week, this will be on Thursday, the 11th of August. Let's see, we're going to be in Birmingham, Alabama at the Alabama Broadcasters. And then on Thursday, the 18th of August, a lot of fun. We'll be broadcasting live a little bit later than usual from the 75th anniversary of KWAM Radio in Memphis, Tennessee. We'll be on a rooftop of a hotel overlooking the mighty Mississippi River. It's going to be fun for everyone. So please join us. Big thanks to Chris Tarr, who had to get out of here. Got a burned out transmission line. They're trying to take care of that. And thanks to Marcus O'Rourke for joining us today and sharing his knowledge and information with us, and creativity as well. Big thanks to Suncast for producing the show. Great job, Suncast. And thanks to Andrew Zarian, the founder of the GFQ Network. We'll see you next week on This Week in Radio Tech.